Welcome to the Chamber Vibes Podcast with your host, Brittany Timmons, the Greater Guthrie Chamber of Commerce CEO and President. In this podcast, you will hear from local guests who will discuss topics such as leadership, small business, and our vibrant community. You'll also hear success stories and tips from amazing local businesses, dive into important news, meet community leaders, and find out how you can get involved in our community. From the Second Banana Media Studios in beautiful and historic downtown Guthrie, America, here is Brittany Timmons.
Hello, everyone. It is great to be back in studio for another episode of Chamber Vibes. And today I've got my friend Dawn Roars here with Cyclone Septics. How are you, friend?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So I know we're going to talk septics today,
Yep.
and it's going to be fun.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. It's not going to be a crappy situation.
Oh, jeez.
You knew that was going to come up. At least I kept it PG.
Yeah, you
right?
did.
I kept it PG because there could be other terms that we could use to talk about this topic. No, so Dawn here, Cyclone Septics is located here in Logan County.
Yes.
Not very far from downtown Guthrie at all.
We're right near 33 and 74.
Yes, and so I just wanted you guys to be able to get to know Dawn and kind of more about their business and why they got into this business and all that. So let's just dive right into that. So why septic systems?
Sure.
Kind of give everyone your background.
I was a drilling engineer for 20 years. And when the price of oil collapsed in 2017, I got laid off. And so I was sitting at home driving my husband crazy. And
as most of us would be if we were home.
And so one of his friends talked him into starting the septic business. It's kind of something just to keep busy and have a little extra cash coming in. And we have now grown from doing about 20 septics that first year to doing almost 200 last year.
Wow. And so when you say septics, you mean not just servicing them,
That's
but
correct.
actually building them?
Yep. We actually manufacture them here in Guthrie at our facility. We do 1,000-gallon tanks and aerobic tanks, and we install both of them. I'm a licensed installer for conventionals and aerobics, also a licensed pumper, a licensed soil profiler, sanitary and environmental specialist. I'm a bit of a nerd, so if there's a certification to be had, I probably have it.
Awesome. Or if not, you're going to find a way to get one. Yeah. So we can talk about, I do want to touch on that here in just a bit. So did you know much about it? I mean, you obviously weren't in this field.
No,
right?
not at all. So I knew you had to be licensed. I knew nothing about it except that they were offering a class. So I showed up at the DEQ office in Oklahoma City to take the test, and the guy looks at me and goes, "Are you in the wrong room?" And I said, "No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I'm in the right place." And he said, "Have you read the book?" And I said, "There's a book?" And
wow.
So for about 30 minutes before the test, I skimmed the 65-page DEQ manual and then took the test and was the first one to hand the test in. And he goes, "Don't worry, you can retest later." And I think I missed one question on the test or something like that.
So this is meant to be.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they don't get a lot of chemical engineers taking the test, but
so your background definitely helped.
it did. I mean, I'm good at taking tests and that kind of stuff, but but then I had a major learning curve out on my first few jobs, and it was definitely eye-opening. Not only dealing with the state regulations, but it's just a completely different industry.
Sure.
And we were really lucky. So Lloyd Triplett, who used to be from Guthrie and passed away a couple of years ago, took me under his wing at one point and really helped a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So now how long have you guys been in business?
So we are going on, actually, today is our 7th anniversary.
What? We didn't even plan
clue.
that. It's our bizniversary.
It is.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, we've been in business a while. About 3 years ago, we expanded into the manufacturing. Prior to that, we just did installations.
Okay.
And then in the last 3 months, we've expanded into pumping. So anything from installation, maintenance, pumping. We have a not certified, and that's NAWT, not NOT, inspector on staff. and there's only a handful in the entire state of Oklahoma.
Okay.
I'm also, like I mentioned, a soil profiler. There's only 3 installers in the state of Oklahoma that are soil profilers as well. So we are qualified to do whatever anybody needs with the septic system.
That's awesome. And so do you all work with a lot of home builders?
We do.
Is that your biggest clientele right now?
Absolutely. We have about 30 home builders that we do 100% of their work. A lot of your local home builders. So you've got Greg Ireton with doing the landing out by 33 and 74.
Yes.
It's a beautiful subdivision.
It is beautiful.
We do most of the homes in the subdivision. I think there's one builder we don't do in there. We've got a lot that are, so C.S. Smith Homes. We've got Kevin Armour, who's local. So we do a lot of local builders.
Awesome. And you build them right there at your location there?
Yep.
Right off the highway.
Right there.
Yeah, you can see them too. And
Yeah.
I had no idea they were that big.
Yeah, they're massive.
Yeah,
People
and my
don't
home has
realize.
a septic system, and I had no idea that that's what all went into that.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
an aerobic tank, our aerobic tanks are about 5 foot tall, about 5 foot wide, and about 14 foot long.
Wow.
So they're big.
Yeah, that's crazy. So that's awesome. Congratulations on 7 years.
Thank you.
What did COVID look like for you guys? Did that really affect your business? Or, I know it was a worldwide,
Sure.
pandemic and issue. But
It didn't really slow down our business any. It really was a struggle with materials.
Right.
So not only did you have COVID affecting labor and materials and that sort of thing, but then about the same time you had the big freeze in Texas that it hurt the supplies for for PVC. And so you couldn't get pipe, you couldn't get fittings, and it just became a real struggle. So instead of going to one supplier for everything, we ended up going to 5 or 6 suppliers just to get what we needed. Because there's certain regulations in the state of Oklahoma, like you can only use purple colored pipe for running the sprinklers.
Okay.
So you can't just go to Lowe's and buy it.
Right.
And there's only a couple of manufacturers in the entire U.S. that makes that purple pipe. And they were prioritizing white pipe over purple. So it got to be really difficult for a while to get some stuff.
So that kind of slowed, that's kind of how the effect that you all saw was it slowed you guys down a little bit, just waiting.
Yep.
And then how long did it take you guys to kind of bounce back to what you would say normal?
Yeah, it probably took, 6 months. And we're still seeing a lot of the effects of it even today. You go in and you try to order 50 cleanouts, and they go, I've only got 23 on stock. And okay, well, give me what you got. And so we're still seeing those effects. And I'm still, 5 suppliers to get stuff. I can't just do one because I may call one guy and he goes, I've only got 5 in stock and they're $40 each. And so I can then call somebody else and they go, I've got 50 in stock and they're, $20 each. So it definitely has added some time to the administrative side.
Sure, and the logistics of getting the parts. So how many people do you guys employ?
So right now we have 6 full-time employees.
Okay.
But we also have a partnership with the Guthrie Job Corps. Mm-hmm. And so we continuously have some of their students working for us as well.
Awesome.
Right now we have
learning.
3 of them. Yep. Anytime we have anywhere from 2 to 6 students. And it's been really good for the company. We've hired 2 from the program.
Oh, that's
as
awesome.
full-time
We
employees.
love to hear that.
Yep.
We love partnering with Job Corps.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And we have, right now I have an admin working in the office with me, and then we have 2 welders working out in the shop. So we take admin, welding, and plumbing students from them.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's been a great partnership for us.
That's cool. Yeah. And like I always say this every episode, I always learn something new. And I didn't know that about that partnership. So that's awesome.
Yep.
Speaking of partnerships, I know that you also have taught or still currently teaching some courses or some trainings out at Meridian Tech.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the most popular course is a buying and selling homes for real estate professionals with buying and selling homes with septic systems. And what we saw was a lot of times real estate agents are used to selling houses that are on big pipe or sewer pipe. And so then when they go to a home that's on a septic system, they're depending on their home inspectors to tell them.
Right.
But the state of Oklahoma doesn't require any specific training for home inspectors on septic systems. And so you may get anyone from somebody that has never seen a septic in their life to somebody who's not certified to do inspections. And I'm just
scary.
Which is scary because
scary.
we've seen some crazy stuff.
Right.
And it'll come up on the inspection report and we're like, that's not what the law says. And so what I do is I give real estate agents the tools to kind of be able to spot their own red flags.
Okay.
And it's really as simple, there's a few simple things to look at. And I teach them the law about what their rights are, what the homeowner's rights are, and what the responsibility of the installer is. So they have those tools to help their homeowners.
Okay.
And the class is approved for 2 CEUs through the Real Estate Commission. So it's a win-win for them. The classes are cheap. I think the Meridian Tech charges like $45 for the class.
Right.
Then we also teach septic systems for homeowners, and then also a class for builders that are new to building with septic systems.
Oh, that's so cool. So did you start doing that when our campus opened here, the South Campus?
I did.
Yeah.
I had been kicking around the idea of doing it, and they had approached me about teaching some of the business classes. So I also teach the QuickBooks classes and Excel classes and all those out there. And I said, this is a class that I think there's a need for. Mm-hmm. And it hasn't been huge in Guthrie just because it's such a niche class. Yes. But I also teach it in Stillwater, and that class has done really well. And we have had the class twice here in Guthrie.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a lot of realtors.
Yep.
A lot of realtors partner with the chamber here in Guthrie. So if you're watching or listening, then definitely check out that schedule.
I think the next one's in June.
Okay, there you go.
Get signed up.
Right, that's super important. And I know we touched a little bit about like how it can be scary. So can you like tell just maybe a story of some of the stuff,
sure,
some of the stuff you've seen? We don't have to go into the the actual graphic detail, but just how important it is to know when you do buy a home that has an existing tank, like maintenance and all of that.
Sure. So one of the ones that always pops in my head is actually a homeowner here in Guthrie. So she called me an evening at home. She said, I need help. We cannot flush our toilets. We have not been able to use water in our house for like 4 days. Something's wrong. And she said they had a home warranty, and the home warranty had sent a plumber out, and the plumber said it was a septic problem. And so I asked her a few questions over the phone and through Facebook messaging, and I said, look, I don't think it's a septic problem, but I will come out and take a look at it in the morning. And so I get out there, and immediately I was like, no, it's not a septic problem. It's a problem between the house and the septic tank, and it's something that the plumber should have caught. But while I was there, I was like, did you have a home inspection done? Because they'd only been in there like 30 days. She said, yeah. And I said, well, you've got some issues. And so I immediately identified like 3 or 4 things that were obviously wrong, without even me getting a screwdriver out, without me doing anything, that, these are wrong, things that are wrong and they should have been caught. And so we had her up and running pretty quickly, and I told her how to fix it. If she didn't want to have to pay for the repairs, I was like, look, here's all you have to do to fix it. And it's something that the plumber should have caught. It's something that should have been caught during the home inspection. Like, there were lots of missed opportunities. And this family had been living in their house with no water for days. And, so that's one of those things that if I can help, I'm always happy to help people.
Yes.
And I'm always happy to answer questions.
You definitely have a servant's heart in that way. You can definitely tell. Well, seriously, since I first met you, she spoke at Rotary here at our Guthrie Rotary Club. And just right away, you can tell that, like, your passion is making sure that people understand the importance of the maintenance and all that and what they're getting into.
Yeah.
So I definitely love that about you, that you're just always willing to help and answer questions because you want people to be educated.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. So I posted this TikTok video over toilet paper.
We got to talk about TikTok because this girl has blown up on Facebook, on TikTok.
So I posted this video, and my husband was laughing at me. He was like, it's toilet paper. And all I did was I took 18 different brands of toilet paper. I put them in water.
18?
Yeah, 18.
Oh, wow.
And we put them in
water,
that many. And we shook them, and I just showed like which ones break down quickly, which, by the way, spoiler alert, great value.
What?
Yeah, great
Walmart
value.
brand for the win.
Charmin and Kirkland did the worst.
Okay.
And so anyway, we did this, and I posted it.
How did Members Mark do? I need to rewatch the video.
Not much better than Kirkland.
Okay.
It was,
because I'm a Sam shopper sometimes.
So the ones Angel Soft has always been like my recommendation. Like, that's my go-to. And Angel Soft came in.
That's not good stuff though, Dawn.
I know. And Angel Soft came in like 5th. Which was still pretty good, but great
Out
value.
Of 18?
Great value, soft and strong, and great value, ultra strong did the best.
Is it soft though?
Hey, at least it's a double ply. It's not like Scott 1000.
I don't even think I know it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do. Isn't that what?
Those stuff you can see through.
Yeah, that's
basically.
This would be, Phil Nichols would love this conversation. So I'm getting the nod over there.
I post this video, and all of a sudden it starts blowing up, and my phone, like, the messages are going crazy. I think it has 1.4 million views now, and I posted it last weekend over stupid toilet paper.
Hey, people love this stuff because I think you and I were talking at Chamber Coffee. I was telling her, and I'll give a shout out because they're a Chamber member as well, Hayes Lawn and Tree. Because Hayes Tree Service, Kathy Hayes posted something similar, so silly, about a tree that was, had stuff coming out of it. Along the same lines, and her TikTok went viral, and so apparently that sells. It sells.
Like
that kind of entertainment. It's hilarious. 1.4 million views.
Yeah,
That's
and
insane.
so we went overnight. We went from 42 followers to 7,200 followers or something like that in 48 hours, and I was like, "This is just the craziest thing."
Yeah, and you're like, "What do I do now?" What do you post now? How do you top that, Dawn?
Right. But it
is good information. I mean, especially if you have a septic tank.
It is. And there's other ones that we're going to do. You shouldn't use powdered either laundry soap or dish soap.
Okay.
If you have a septic system.
Okay.
Because they use clay as a carrier. So when the soap then dissolves off of the clay goes into your septic system.
Okay, I'm good there. Check.
And
got that
you
one
have
right.
to pump more often. So use liquid detergents.
Okay. See, this is so educational. So
yeah, I'm a nerd.
No, it's okay. But you're not a nerd. It's your industry, and you know what you're talking about, and you want people to have their homes last and their systems last.
Yep.
And if we don't take care of them, then it won't. So
And that's absolutely right. I mean, Oklahoma really has some. The regulations aren't real strong in Oklahoma around septic systems, and so people just don't know.
Right.
So you look at a lot of states, and other states require people to pump their tanks every few years.
That's what I was going to ask.
2 to 5 years. There's no regulations in Oklahoma, and so any tank should be pumped usually in the range of 3 to 5 years, and if not, you can shorten the lifespan of your lateral lines.
Right.
And people don't realize that.
And what are you talking about cost-wise if somebody has to replace that? Their lines.
If you're just looking at a lateral line replacement, if you have room for it, you're probably looking at somewhere in the range of $5,000 to $6,000.
So not a cheap fix.
No, but you're looking at a much higher cost more than likely. You're probably looking closer to the $7,000 to $8,000 range.
Wow. And if you do pumping, the pumping maintenance 3 to 5 years, what does that typically run?
So for a 1,000-gallon tank, you're somewhere between $375 and $450, depending on where you're at in the company and things. One of the issues that pushes that so expensive is that there's nowhere to dump. So, and people are often surprised by this. So if you live in the city of Guthrie, and let's say they did not run sewer to you, and you're on septic, if we pump your tank, there's nowhere in even Logan County for us to dump that.
Got ya. So there's costs.
There's costs. So the closest place is either going to be Perkins, or Witcher Station, which is in Oklahoma City. And so you're looking at your pump truck driver has fuel. A 1 hour, 2 hour round trip to go dump the tank. Plus he's got hours and fuel and everything.
Sure.
So that's really contributing to the cost.
Got ya. Okay.
Yep.
Who knew?
Yeah.
I bet some of you did not know.
No.
And hopefully now you do, because it is super important. And I will say personally, we're a customer, and now I didn't even know. I think it's one of those things I'd heard as a homeowner, it's something maintenance-wise you should do, but never really looked much into it, didn't really understand the timeline, all of that. So what you're telling me is people can go years and years and years.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying, because then what can happen?
No.
Environmentally.
Here's the scary part. So I'm sure everybody, if you're in a neighborhood that has aerobic systems, and especially a neighborhood that's over 5 years old, aerobic systems get this reputation of being stinky. And it's because they're not getting pumped. And so
they're not really stinky unless they're not running
correctly.
Okay.
So what happens is the solids that should settle out are now getting so full that they're making their way downstream. And so some of these systems are spraying straight poo onto the yard, and that's why they stink. And if you would get your system pumped, for an aerobic, you're looking at anywhere from 2 to 5 years for an aerobic, you won't have that problem.
Okay. Good
So,
to know.
just a
Or when
little
your neighbor
maintenance.
has the little red light on.
Yeah, you need to call somebody.
You
Call
need
us.
to call. You need to call somebody. Okay.
Yep.
Yes. I mean,
sure.
hopefully your neighbor will call someone, but if not, very kindly encourage your neighbor.
And if you and I hate to say,
I just have heard people talk about that.
No,
a lot.
and
Like,
I
my
hate to
neighbor's
say-
red lights on.
and there are some issues. I mean, we've ran into some really questionable stuff. So in the state of Oklahoma, you don't have to be licensed to install a septic system.
Also terrifying.
Also terrifying. So you want to verify that if you hire somebody that they're licensed and they're buying a permit. Because if they do something that is wrong, they're not the one financially responsible for repairing it. You are.
Okay.
And that, again, has happened here in Guthrie, that we got called by somebody and said, hey, this guy won't fix my system. I paid him to do it. And then he had to pay to get it repaired.
So always make sure that you're going with a licensed installer.
Yep.
Like Cyclone.
That's right.
There you go.
And then not only that, make sure that, ask them, did you buy a permit?
Okay.
And one of the things that some of these guys do is even licensed, they may not buy a permit. You're also legally required, the installer is, to carry 2 years of warranty on an aerobic system. So if you're buying a new house, there is a state-mandated 2 years of warranty on that system. If you don't know who installed your system, then
you can't get
your
if something
warranty.
goes wrong in 2 years,
Yeah.
then you're not covered.
Yeah, and they're not doing their inspections and things like that. So
Yeah.
just do your due diligence, because it's on the homeowner to protect themselves.
Awesome. So do you have information like this available on your website?
Absolutely. Okay. So if you go to our website, I think we have more information available than almost anyone.
Yes, you take pride in that, Dawn.
I do. If you go to the top right corner where it says aerobic orientation, there is there's an explainer video there. There is information on doing troubleshooting, on resetting your timer, on what disinfectant to use. There's just all kinds of information, probably more than you're ever going to want to know about septic systems. But
hey.
we have all that information available. And now it is specific to new water, which is what we manufacture.
Okay.
But there are things that will apply no matter what brand of system
Across
you have.
the board.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So there you go. And tell everyone your actual website.
Yeah,
Right?
that might be helpful.
Yes.
So it's cycloneseptics.com.
Okay, super easy. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, and look, so call with questions. Dawn will be happy to answer your questions.
I'm always happy to answer questions.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you're doing great work, friend. I learned, like I said, so much right when I first met you. And just as a homeowner with the system, it's been really great. And so reach out if you have questions. Follow them on TikTok. What's your TikTok handle?
It's that septic girl.
Yes, you changed it since we talked last.
I did.
Okay, that septic girl. There you go. And you have to check out this viral video, and maybe it will change your thinking about what kind of toilet paper you want to buy now.
Yeah, for sure.
Because now I'm questioning my life choices. My life choices.
And I just did a video on septic tank additives.
Okay.
So, if you're adding something to your tank monthly, maybe you should go watch it, and then you might change your mind.
Okay.
So...
Awesome. We laugh, but it's serious business.
Yeah,
people.
it is.
It is serious business when coming down to your business.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So I had to get in another pun.
I know.
Somehow. I had to, with keeping it PG.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, is there anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
like I said, give us a call. Check out our website. Check out our social media.
Yep.
And we are there to help, whether you are building a new home or if you have an existing home. We encourage people, especially if you're building a new home, call your installer early. So call us early. Call us before the footings are poured.
Okay.
Because I can save you money if you call me then. If you wait until later, I can't save you money anymore.
Got ya.
So
okay, good
call
information.
early.
There's lots of new construction too going on in Logan
Absolutely.
County and in Guthrie, and it's exciting. And so they're part of those processes
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
So what's the best way to reach you as far as phone?
So our office number is 405-373-1540.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dawn. If you have any questions, reach out. Like we said, she's here to help. She's got the classes at Meridian.
Yep.
And working with the Job Corps, which we love. We absolutely love that. We always say a community wins, and that's exactly how.
Yeah.
So you're a great example of that, friend. Partnering with other businesses and organizations to make things happen.
Yeah,
so,
we're excited for it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So,
All right,
all
thank you.
right, there you have it. Dawn with Cyclone. So be sure to check them out. And we will catch you next time for Chamber Vibes.
Thanks for listening to the Chamber Vibes podcast from Second Banana Media Studios in beautiful downtown Guthrie, America. Be sure and check out a new episode every other Monday. And until then, remember to choose Guthrie.